Hello everyone, this is Guido from the Pelagos channel. This is the video, the Trident Twins, the Christopher Ward Trident Twins. This video is a bit delayed. I had the majority of the videos, clips for this video, which you will see in a moment, already done last week. But then the whole Pelagos outdoor movie came past, which was half an hour, and that takes a lot of editing. That came in between. There were several other things that came in between, some personal stuff as well, so I wasn't able to upload it yet. But today I can. So I'm just making this quick introduction for the video. If you think, hey, it doesn't walk very synchronistically, there's some things that are not parallel to the timeline, then you know why. What I also will do is I will give you another look at these watches like this, because I found out, let me just focus it there you go. Because I found out that a lot of the shots I made of these two watches were in direct sunlight, and what happened is what they really reflected that sunlight. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff about these watches. You can find all the pictures and everything anyway, so have another look. There you go, and the rest is what I'm going to tell you. As well, for the channel, I haven't been sitting still. I have been contacting people and trying to find a new direction for the channel. So also lately I have contacted a few people that I would think would be an asset for the channel, because on the internet there is not much information on YouTube about it. Of course, at the moment still the subject is watches, but there's a big possibility I'll have a Dutch legend in one of these months, I would say, because this person is very busy with being a man that a lot of men would like to be, and he's living his dream, and I want to interview him about his watches. He uses watches for what he does, for his profession, and I haven't seen many of the videos about that yet, so that will be a very interesting talk. So probably a new series coming out on the Pelagos channel, all free of charge, no ads, no nothing, and it's probably going to be called Pelagos Inspirational or Pelagos, something like that. We'll see what happens, and you know, it's very well, it's just a short email, a correspondence yet, so it's not secure that everything will follow up, but the first step has been taken, and even if it wouldn't lead to a video or whatever, just being able to meet this person for me is he's a very big inspiration source for me. I will never be able to do what he can, but I can learn from the determination, the stamina, and the goal-drivenness of this person. So, not going into this further. First, you will see the video, the Christopher Ward Trident Twins. Enjoy it, and I will see you soon for another video. Ciao, bye guys. Cheers. So, hello everyone, this is the review of the Christopher Wards. Later in this video I have pre-recorded a video in which I show these in the sunlight on a purple underground. So I will, I'm not sure how long this video in the end will be. If the video is going to be too long, I'll put some chapters in. I do that a lot, so you will be able to skip a lot of the BS I'm going to tell you. Now let me put the camera straight because it's a little bit off center. There we go. So what was I going to talk about today? I had a lot written down in the last few weeks, because actually a lot happened with the Christopher Wards. You know, I bought this one at the end of last year, got it in, was very happy, but wasn't very happy with the strap. I ordered the separate strap, I thought in blue. I got a shiny black one, which I didn't like either. I sent that back
But I decided not to send it back because, you know, it's just too much hassle for me. I have to go all the way to the post office, pay a lot of money, and, you know, it's just a hassle. So I decided I'll keep that strap, and I'll see what happens. But then again, the watch started to be a minute and a half fast today. So I contacted Christopher Ward and I said, well, you please send it back for regulation. So I sent it back, and then I sent the strap back as well. And I asked, like, please could you put a orange strap on there, because I think it will look much nicer. And this was also in the sale. Not anymore, but it was. And it came back brilliantly regulated. It works brilliantly now, and yeah, it looks so much nicer on the orange than on any other strap I saw. Although I think it will look beautiful on the brown strap as well. So now it's back, and I must say the strap is short. It's very short. Let's see if I can find what there it is. So this one came back, and around I sent this one out, I went to the website and saw they had another sale. And just, you know, this is 38mm as well, and it's just absolutely, they go together so well that I thought I gotta buy the other one as well. You know, and this came in last week, this came in yesterday, and it really fits me well. I mean, I never thought that a smaller watch would actually give me so much pleasure. Now I know that my dress watches are a bit smaller, and so I knew it was, but this is a sports watch. But the way this sports watch is made, with the brown leather strap, it's just classy. It's just classy. I mean, the face of the watch as well. It looks a bit like a Breitling. What is this? Super Ocean, with batten hour markers and stuff. It really looks nice, and you know, you can't go wrong with these things. But if you see the new collection, they got this Trident out with a chronograph. Now, I'm not the one that really likes a chronograph on a dive watch. I think it misses the point more or less, because you got the bezel. On the other hand, though, it is a handy way to keep time. That's not what I wanted to say. Yeah, I don't care too much for a chronograph on a dive watch. I don't really see the point. And as I don't understand a leather strap on a dive watch, and these both have leather straps, so I can go 600 meters in the water with this, but not like this, because the strap won't hold. And I remember buying the Hirsch night strap for my Pelagos, and I had it on. The first comment I got is, are you going to put a dive watch on a leather strap? And that actually made a lot of sense. But on the other hand, we use these watches for daily use. We don't use them to go diving 100 meters down. And if you do, you can always bring a NATO or the original rubber with it. So, you know, it's like if you drive an Italian car, you only have to, if you drive a Ferrari, you have to put Italian music on. It doesn't work like that, right? If you drive an Aston Martin, I don't want to listen to the Beatles or the Stones all day. So you can, and honestly, guys, changing a strap on a watch completely changes the look of the watch. It's something a lot of people forget. You buy a watch and you're fed up with it, but you don't have enough money to buy another watch. Buy a good tool. Excuse me, a lot of pins and straps, and you will see your watch will look different on the strap every time. I mean, I will show you in the other video. If I put the green strap on this one, it's a completely different watch, and that's logical because it's a lot of the stuff you see. And one of the things I found out with the smaller watches, well, if you wear it on your wrist, you will see the whole case and a bit of strap. And I much more prefer that over a dial that sticks out over both sides of your wrist. You don't see the lugs very well, and you certainly don't see the strap. And it's a sign of the time. Everything has to go bigger. Like I said in my last video, everything that's bigger seems to be more impressive. But everything that's smaller in detail and finely finished looks more refined. And I think that's the way a lot of people want to go bigger and nicer. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. I think that's the reason why a lot of people are shouting for a bigger Submariner, because they got this shiny watch, and they got this brand watch, and it's too small. You know, it's like I would say some of them would like to have an 80mm Submariner, so they can really go like, ah! It's gonna give me some haters, this video. So I sent the crystal vaults back, got it back, got the other one, and the new collection. Yeah, like I said, the Trident the Trident with the chronograph, it made me think of Ulysse Nardin. You know, it just looks like a Ulysse Nardin. It's just, I was really amazed at the way they make the second hand go. They're innovating, guys. This brand has been on the market for 11 years, and they've been put out 25, 30 models and all kinds of different shit. They made their own in-house movements. That is really impressive. And if you haven't, go and watch their website and check the 3527 Ferrari GTO 250 watch. This is a watch that actually has a... I'm going to let it ring now because I'm making the video. But this watch actually has a part of a Ferrari GTO in it. So the most expensive car ever sold for 16 million like 2 years ago. That most expensive car, the guy who bought it brought it to a garage to have it, probably a Ferrari garage, to have it serviced, and they replaced some of the paneling on that Ferrari. So they took the panels and sold them to Art Metal, and Art Metal sold them in some kind of conglomeration to Christopher Ward, and they decided to make this watch. So when you buy this watch, you get the back side of the watch is museum glass with a piece of that metal in it. Now I would have loved to buy the watch because the price I thought was very reasonable. Only thing is, it's a fucking quartz watch. Now I really don't understand why you would buy a quartz watch for such a prestigious watch like that. I just thought that was a shame. Sorry, mate. I thought that was a very big shame to make such a great watch like that and then put a quartz movement in it and then say it's a chronometer. Well, any quartz movement is a chronometer. I mean, you can buy a Casio, it's a chronometer. Let me see who called me here. You might want to call them back. Yeah, I gotta call them back. Okay, guys, continue the video in a moment. Check. So there we are. As you can see here, I put my gloves on for the first time. Hoo-hoo-hoo. And it's a bit of a joke, guys, so don't worry about it. If you see this watch here, which is the Trident GMT C60 by Christopher Ward, has a water resistance of 600 meters, and it came on a... I'll show you on which strap it came. The watch came on this strap, top strap here. This leather was really not to my liking. And I also ordered another strap. I'll go into that a little bit later. I also ordered another strap which wasn't to my liking, which led me to believe that the straps of Christopher Ward aren't really that good. Well, I couldn't have been more wrong, because as you can see here, I bought the black dialed, wave dialed Pro 38mm C60 as well. And this strap is one of the best leather straps I've ever seen. It smells good, it looks good, and I mean, I could interchange this strap with this watch any day. I mean, this would look gorgeous on this, and I wouldn't be surprised if the orange would look good on the black one as well, since the 600 meters, 1,000 feet is printed in orange. So anyway, you see the watches are more or less the same. If you look at the dial, they're both wave dials. Of course, the GMT has a GMT hand, and both have a green bezel. Thing is, with this one though, this one has a semi-dive, semi-GMT bezel, which makes it a pretty weird watch, because, you know, there's not many watches that have a GMT bezel with the first 15 minutes as a diver bezel. So this is a bit of a compromise, and not many people enjoy this. I actually love it.
because it makes the watch so very versatile. If you look at the right, you see the other Trident has a also green bezel, but it's just a plain bezel with a 20, 30, 40 and 50 on it. Honestly, I always like it when they don't show the 10 on a diver's bezel, because that is just too crowded in my opinion for a watch, or on the bezel I mean. Now both of these watches have an ETA or a Solita movement in there. For this one you don't know for sure. This one will have the ETA 2893 movement. Great movements. Great GMT movement. I love the fact that you can switch the GMT hand instead of the hour hand, which in my opinion makes more sense. Both are hackable, so if you pull out the crown, they will just stop, so you can very easily set them. Let's have a look at the back. Big. That is a really big, deep engraving. Really looks nice. Both watches. And I think this one was number 1281. This was 386 or 385. So I'm not sure how they number them. If they number them by a model or by stock, I don't know. So what else could be? Well, if you listen to the bezel is ceramic, by the way. If you can see here, you can see the GMT bezel, and here you can see the diver's bezel, both ceramic. But there's just something with the bezels I don't understand. Maybe I'm the biggest spoiled in the world, but just take the Pelagos out one more time. Just listen to the bezel. Now listen to the Pelagos bezel. This is a whole different ball game. And if you think that your watch has a great bezel, if you can get the opportunity, check a Pelagos bezel, because as far as I've seen, and I know some of you guys are not going to agree, that's fine, because that's a horological world. And you will say, no, it's the Submariner or whatever. But the Tudor Pelagos, in my opinion, as far as I've noticed, any watch has the best bezel out there. 60 clicks. Absolutely brilliant. Doesn't mean that these bezels are crap. I mean, these are great watches, great bezels, great movements. Well, the movement is standard, but it's still good workhorse. And that's okay. But if you're up for the bezel, if you're really out to get a good bezel, then what you should do is get a Pelagos. Now let me put that back to where it is. There we go. I'm gonna get rid of these fucking gloves. This is the... Oh! Yay! Hands! Can you see the hands? Yee-hoo! I hate those things. You can't really grab something. It makes side noises. I'll rather just wash my hands and show you manually what I have. There we go. It goes a lot quicker like this, and I'm not distracted by those bloody gloves. So, what else can we say about these watches besides that they're quite small? Because, you know, you got a 38mm watch. And 38mm is not very big for a dive watch. I think it will be very, very useful though, because its legibility is quite good. There's nothing wrong with the legibility. So what you can do, or what I really enjoy about this watch, is that you get a 600-meter waterproof watch with a ceramic bezel, a deep engraving, and a GMT hand. In 38mm, and I got this one in a 50% sale, which is £400. Now, even for £800, I can't find any other watch with these specs. I don't know which watch will have 38mm case, GMT, 600-meter water resistance with a ceramic bezel and a deeply engraved back for around that price. One of the first watches I saw that has those specs is the Planet Ocean GMT, but that's a $5,000 watch. You know, and this watch cost me around $500. Well, a little bit more, but you know, so for 1 Omega, you can buy 10 of these. Now, I'm not saying this is better or exactly the same quality as Omega or Omega, and not Omega, because we all know where the Omega came from the man on the moon. So I'm not doing that. I want to keep my breath. And I'm going to tell you the quality of this, the watch itself. Now, I'm not talking about the straps, the buckles, or whatever. The watch itself is great, great, great quality. You can see that only looking at the case back. A lot of effort has been put in making it a very, very sturdy watch. Gruber's little tanks, I would call them. And I even call them the Pelagos Reverso. Now, if before you all guys get on your high horse, this is a joke. And it's got some foundation to it, because I love the Reverso that you can flip around and you have like the day, which turns into the night. I love that Reverso. You know, you have a day watch and a night watch on your wrist. I think that's gorgeous. Now, with this, it works more or less the same. If I take this watch and I wear it in the morning and in the daytime, this is really the sporty one of the two. You know, the white dial, the orange stuff, the deployment cloths. But I'm not really a big fan of deployment cloths, I must say. They always stick in my wrists. Yeah. And unfortunately, I can't put a normal buckle on here because it's not cut out. So I'll have a look how I'm gonna do this. It's okay, it's just a bit weird. So let me give you some wrist shots. Here you got the GMT. You can see the wave dial. Realize there's not really any flaws in there. And you gotta be, you know, this is just about the limit. You know, I mean, in the sense that you get a 38mm watch with a 20mm lug width. That is a thick band for a small watch. So a NATO strap looks cool, but you might want to do the other NATO strap way of putting it onto your wrist, because if it sticks out above, it might be a little bit too much. Check this out. On the other hand, I've got the green one. Now, for example, like I said, the Reversos, right? Wear this in the daytime as a sporty watch, go to the beach, have some fun, and at night when you take out your shorts and your Hawaiian shirt and you put on just a nice white or black shirt with a little jacket, this goes well pretty much very well. So together, oh, let's zoom out a little. There we go. There are the watches together. And I must say, I adore these watches. I love looking at them together because, you know, they're quite different watches, but they're completely the same build. And, yeah, very good. Of course, both have sapphire crystal. They got Super Luminova level 1 or something. I'm not really into the lume. I used to be a big lume fan, and I used to be a big in-house movement fan. And, you know, I'm not sure. I think the longer you go looking and reading about watches, at one point you don't really care that much anymore about the lume. Because, be honest guys, at night we sleep, right? Or the majority of us do. If you're one of the unlucky ones who has to work at night, I have a lot of respect for you. A lot of respect for you. Because I know how it is. But, so yeah. I would say Christopher Ward, like these watches, you know, this is a watch for somebody who... I would say Christopher Ward, especially watches like this, is for somebody who's not inclined to believe any of the marketing shit. Buy a Rolex because, you know, Paul Newman had one. So what? I never met the guy. I've seen 2 movies of him. Some kind of
weird romanticism to the old nostalgic good past of some baby boomer that I don't understand. Which is okay, because I'm not a baby boomer and I'm not the biggest fan of Rolex. Anyway, talking about Rolex again. Don't do it! But this is a watch you could just buy and wear as a one watch. And honestly, if you only gonna have one or two watches, I think this combination of these two are absolutely brilliant. You have kind of a dressy watch for at night, and you have this sporty watch in the daytime. And you know, the thing is with I think you could interchange these straps, but any NATO or strap that works on this one probably will work on this one too. And that might be because black and white are more or less neutral colors. The green goes pretty well with the white and the black, and it's got a hint of orange here and here. So, in my opinion, and I'm gonna test that later, I'll show you now. It's easy, I got some straps here. So here we got some straps. Now, for example, this beige looks pretty well on this one, but also goes pretty well on this one. Same thing with the green. Now, for example, I got a green leather strap here. That could be on this one. Oh, sorry. Let's put it on there. Looks okay. But it works just as well. Oh, that's hard. This is with the buckle deployment. On this one. So, and for example, NATO strap, a leather NATO strap, looks brilliant on this one, as you can see, but it also looks very good on this one. Problem is, if you fold it over like this, you get a very big thing coming out on top of the watch, on a watch that is not really big itself. So like I said, you might want to try the other way, so that if the NATO is on your wrist, it doesn't sit like this, but like this. Have a look. I think Archie put it up how to do that. Here you got another green. Works on this one. Works on that one. But there's also a lot of stuff that doesn't work on it. Let me show you a very ugly NATO watch on this band on this watch. This, for example, will never work. Neither will it work on this one. It's absolutely the wrong color. So if you're gonna buy NATOs, I put some links. I might put a link underneath this video. If you're thinking about getting NATOs, think about, there's a website called colorcombos.com. And you can just choose any main color, hit enter, and you'll see which colors will go with it. And you can switch a little bit and stuff. It's the best way to find the right NATO, instead of just buying a NATO because you think it might look good, and then finding out it absolutely looks shit. Well, I got some black here. Black will work. But I don't know, the NATO on a 38mm was a bit of a disappointment for me, because it just shows that the watch is 38mm, especially since the lugs are already 20. I did spend a lot of time on the Christopher Ward website to see if there's going to be another sale, and I was lucky, because these watches together cost, let me say, this one is normally 800 and this 600 pounds, so together that's 1400 pounds. Now, I had this one off 50% in the January sale and this one off in the end of model sale. I was just lucky. And it doesn't mean that I wouldn't have paid 700 or 800 pounds for this watch, because it's a great watch. But saving yourself 700 pounds on two watches and getting the quality that the Christopher Ward actually brings, because, you know, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but this watch, and if you go to the website, look at the history, their goal of just bringing a gorgeous watch onto the market without sponsoring events, actors, and all the shit. You will find out, and you can send it back, right? You can get it home, see what you like it. If you don't like it, you can send it back for a full refund, no questions asked, as long as it's in the original box in the original state. So, in my opinion, this watch, in a quality and also price quality combination, this is far beyond Steinhardt. This is far beyond Squale. And this is far beyond what are other brands that are coming up. I would say this is you know, you should compare this somewhere in the range of an Oris Aquis. I mean, if you look at the dial, there's not many, like I said before, you know, where are you going to find a 600-meter dive watch with sapphire crystal, ceramic bezel, deeply engraved case back, GMT, 38 millimeter. It's just, you know, it's you just don't see it that often. And with the finishing, for that price, it's just, you know, I get it. You know, I never thought about Christopher Ward actually being one of my watches that I would buy. Because it's just, you know, it's Swiss, but it says London on the dial. So what the hell does that mean, you know? But hey, wasn't there another brand that started in 1905? Was it 1915? I've got it now. I think it was 1905. Could be 1915. Anyway, and these guys started to make watches in London, or at least in England, imported a lot of the movements, and then decided, hey, we're gonna go all the way to Switzerland, transfer all our shit there, and start making Swiss watches with Swiss as its background. Made in Switzerland, because we'll sell more. And yes, that English brand that went to Switzerland was Rolex. So, Rolex does not have its roots in Switzerland. Neither does Christopher Ward. And I wouldn't be surprised they're making Swiss watches now if they do the same. They're very, very popular at the moment. And I must say, as a brand, they're doing the craziest things. I mean, they've been putting out watches together with a German watchmaker that modifies average movements into something new. So we'll have a new function, like their World Timer, which is more or less a dual timer. It's a gorgeous watch, and it's just a completely different way of doing horology. Now, for now, this will be the review on the purple background in the sun. It will have a great loom shot, so because they're both in the sun for quite a while, as is the Pelagos. Let me take that as a reference. So let's go to a place where it's dark now. But you can see already the hour hands, the hour markers, sorry, are already starting to, fade. But they're very small, right? They're very small. You can still see the 12 and the hands, the hour and the minutes hands. That's all you need to know. You'll be able to see the time very quickly and very easily. So let's go back where we came from. You can see the wave dial pattern, Trident Pro. Look, now at night this is more fun, but if you look now, right? Look at the text on top of the watch, on top of the dial. Christopher Ward, CHR.Ward. If I turn it like this, it could also say Chopard. CHOPRARD. It could be Chopard like this. And it's a bit far-fetched like this, but if it's like 5 minutes to 12 or something, the hands actually obscure the W and the H and the R and the dot and the R and the dot, and it will say Chopard in your imagination. Anyway, so these are the last close-up shots. Lovely brushed sides though. Screw down crown, screw down back. Really, really gorgeous. Now this one has a shiny buckle, of course, with the logo on there. Now when you got this one, I actually feel so chuffed with this one. I would say I feel wearing this one as Craig from the Gentleman's Club channel felt with his Vostok Amphibia with the orange. Did he have an orange strap on it and a white dial and a white? I can't remember, but it was similar looking. He had this sailboat on it, and he loved this. And in the same way, I really enjoy this watch. It is a absolute, and I like the way the bezel. I can imagine that you don't like the bezel if you're gonna go diving. You don't want to have to keep track of what does the bezel mean, because you know it's a GMT bezel and a dive bezel at once. But for anybody who spends a few minutes in the pool and travels, I think the majority of us travel more than that we actually dive. And if you dive, you probably have to travel to dive. So it's, yeah, you might want to get an extra watch for that. So there we go, and this one, put them together again. Trident Twins. I love these watches. They're great watches for the price, especially what I paid for them. And I think if I'm going to travel, I'm not going to take the Omegas, the Zenith, or the Pelagos with me. I'll probably take these two with me. One for the daytime, one for the nighttime. Sportswear, casual wear, uniformal wear, or formal wear. Not too formal, but if you're in a foreign country, you can get away with a lot of stuff because people understand that you can't bring your whole household. So let's go back. Let's go back to the chair.